Welcome to Staying Safe and Smart AI and Cybersecurity for Educators. I'm excited to be with you today as we explore the powerful potential of generative AI and how to stay secure and informed while using it in our work as educators. If you have any questions during or after the session, feel free to reach out to me directly. I am Nikki Sibrel. You can find my email address right here in the slides. And a welcome to this 1-hour PD session. If you haven't already, please register at jcps.me/teachpoint to ensure that you get PD credit. Today we're going to go over what is generative AI, some cybersecurity basics, cybersecurity risks, and how to mitigate those risks, along with spotting them. And then we're going to wrap up with AI ethics and responsible AI usage. Before we dive in, please take a moment to reflect on your experience with AI tools. Would you say you're brand new, somewhat familiar, or already using AI daily? No matter where you fall on the spectrum, this session is designed to help you use AI effectively and safely. You can make your selection by opening the slides and selecting your answer. What is generative AI? Simply put, it's a type of artificial intelligence that can create brand new content, text, images, music, even code, based on patterns it's learned from massive data sets. Think of it as like a super smart assistant that can help you write lesson plans, emails, and even simulate historical conversations for your class, just from your prompts. Keep in mind, prompts can be questions or something you need, such as, can you create an outline for this lesson plan? Or generate an image of cats playing poker. Both of these are prompts that you can put into AI. How AI tools work, or how we make it work. Tools like Gemini and Copilot work by reading millions of documents and recognizing patterns in language. They don't think or have opinions. They just predict the most relevant answer based on your questions and what they've learned. It's a pattern recognition at scale, reading, learning, and generating. A good way to think of it as reading millions of textbooks, finding a pattern, and then generating new content based on that. So keep in mind, even though the responses from your prompt may sound like a human answer, they're really not, and there's no thoughts or emotions behind them. It's just generative AI working and learning off everything that's been input. Here are some real-life examples of generative AI. Text, such as when you say draft an email, or revise this paper, or help me make a lesson plan for these students. All of that is text that can come from Gemini or Copilot. And there's also different forms of AI where you can create images, music, code, or even video. These tools can be incredibly helpful and useful for educators, but keep in mind, it's really cool tech, but we have to learn how to use it responsibly, because everything that we put into these AI tools could change it, and we'll get into that in just a moment. And we all know that AI is constantly changing. Whereas a couple years ago, we were able to spot bad emails or images because of words that were spelled incorrectly, or when images were created, there was maybe 6 fingers on the hand instead of 5. Because AI is always learning, it's begun to correct these mistakes. Well, let's take a look at an example of generative AI. We're going to head over to Gemini. I'm going to select the canvas and then put in my prompt. I want Gemini to generate a countdown from today's date to December 23rd. And then I'm going to give some details. to have the days change color and snow falling in the background and have a winter theme, because this countdown is to winter break. I am asking Gemini to create something that hasn't been created before. Therefore, it's generative AI. It's going to use the web and other resources to create what I'm asking it to. As we can see here, Gemini is literally creating that code for us in real time. And here's that countdown. Now we can see here it says countdown to Christmas Eve, but we didn't actually ask it for that. So let's make some updates. We're going to continue to enter different prompts to manipulate this countdown. So AI is using our prompts to make something completely new. That's what sets it apart from the AI in things like Netflix and Pandora, because we're creating something new. Now we're going to ask Gemini to change the title of the countdown to winter break and remove the seconds option. Now we're going to ask for a couple more updates. So this is generative AI. AI is making something new based off the prompts we're putting in. Now we don't like those snowmen, so we're going to remove the snowmen and add snowy trees at the bottom. And if we switch to the code, we can see that the code is constantly being updated. And I think this is great. This is going to be a great countdown for us. So now I can hit code, share, copy contents. And now that we've copied our code, I'll show you what you can do with that. Head over to a Google site that you've created. You can make a new site, or if you have a current one, like I do, you can hit embed, embed code. Now that code that we just created using Gen AI, we'll go here and we can insert that. And now our countdown will be on our Google site. Now let's head back to learning more about Gen AI and cybersecurity risks. AI can be a great tool, but some may use it to get access to accounts and impersonate others to trick them into giving information, like phishing. Let's start with what are some of those cybersecurity risks? Why would bad actors target educators in the beginning anyway? Unfortunately, cybercriminals see educators as entry points. Why? Because your accounts are often connected to entire school systems and districts. If someone gains access, they might be able to collect personal data or impersonate you to get to others. And once they have this access, it is very hard to undo it. Now let's look at some of the common threats that could affect you. And these are the threats that we see most often. Phishing emails disguised as colleagues or companies, AI voice calls or voicemails pretending to be someone you may know, even a close colleague such as a team member or principal. Shared documents from outside sources that aren't secure. These threats become more realistic and AI makes them harder to detect. AI can write perfect phishing emails that look like they came from your principal or even your IT department. They can mimic tone, grammar, and formatting so well that it's hard to tell that they're fake. It's important to always pause before clicking or responding. AI can write perfect phishing emails, ones that look like they came from your principal or your IT department. They can mimic tone, grammar, and formatting so well that it's hard to tell that they're fake. AI tools like ChatGPT, similar to when we use tools like Gemini or Copilot to write emails or help us adjust our grammar. There are bad actors out there using these tools to scam or to create realistic emails and scenarios. In a moment, we'll take a look at some examples. There's also voice cloning or deepfake audio. AI can now recreate someone's voice just from a short audio clip. Bad actors might use these to impersonate a colleague or request login credentials, money, or even gift cards. And lastly, we see that AI tools can build fake websites in minutes. A site may look exactly like your JSPS login or PD registration page. If you aren't paying attention, you might accidentally give away your credentials simply by clicking a link or logging in. Let's take a look at an AI-generated phishing email. Here we can see that there's an email about an account security alert. It even gives the email that it came from. And that email looks very realistic to something that could be possible. Where we used to look for misspellings or extra characters, we no longer see that. It looks like a support email from our IT service. It's important for us to verify if this is an actual email or not. We can always do this by calling that team directly. As we see here in this email, it is asking us to verify our credentials by clicking on the link here, and that we may lose access to things like our email, Google Drive, and instructional tools. So we know that the phishing email already knows what tools we use in our district. Along with that, it has our logo as well. But know that our IT department would never ask you to log into something or give your password. But you could get something like this that may seem like it's from a different department. So the best thing to do would be to always verify with that department directly. Here's some other examples. It might redirect you to a new site or even work just as the real one, but behind the scenes, it's stealing your info. If something feels off, it probably is, and you should double check the web address. Here are 2 spam emails that I have received from my personal account in the past month or so. You see that the first one says that I've signed in on a new device. And at the bottom, it redirects me to go to a different site. This is obviously a scam because I haven't signed in anywhere. So what I might do first is go to my account by logging in through the app or on my computer, just to verify that everything's okay, instead of using the links to be redirected. The moment that you're redirected to a new site, it could be stealing your information behind the scenes. In this next one, it says that there was a suspicious login attempt, even though we know that didn't happen. It's asking me to go secure my account, and it even has another support email address along with their logo. But I know that this is a scam, and the way I would check that is by logging in, not by following a link on my email address, but logging in directly through the app or the website. These are some examples of the fake emails that we could see, and we might want to notice that these are all very realistic scenarios. Sign in on a new device, and that there was a suspicious login attempt. Now let's take a look at what a realistic voicemail or deepfake audio could sound like. Now, what we're about to see and listen to is completely generated by AI. You can listen to this at any point in time in the slides as well. We're going to hit play right here.
Hello, Nikki. This is Steve from the Fraud Prevention Department at your bank. We've detected unusual activity on your account and have temporarily restricted access for your protection. Please do not attempt any transactions until this is resolved. It is urgent that you call us back at 1-888-514-5555 to verify your recent charges and secure your account. Again, that number is 1-888-514-5555. Thank you, and have a safe day.
As we listen to that, it sounds like a real person, and it actually has my information. It has my name, and they give us a number to call. And we would want to verify that that's actually our bank number. We can do that by using our banking app or by Googling our bank information. Let's listen one more time.
Hello, Nikki. This is Steve from the Fraud Prevention Department at your bank. We've detected unusual activity on your account and have temporarily restricted access for your protection. Please do not attempt any transactions until this is resolved. It is urgent that you call us back at 1-888-514-5555 to verify your recent charges and secure your account. Again, that number is 1-888-514-5555. Thank you, and have a safe day.
At this point, you might be asking yourself, okay, Nikki, so I understand that Gen AI is always changing and recreating something new based on what we put on the internet. And I understand that I could be subject to an attack and bad actors. And you've just told me that it's getting harder and harder to detect what's real and what is AI generated. So what can I do? One of the easiest ways to protect yourself is by using strong, unique passwords. Avoid using school names, birthdays, or any predictable pattern, such as 1234 or even 54321. Aim for 15 characters. Include uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. And please don't reuse passwords between school, personal, and your shopping accounts. We also suggest changing your password every 6 months. Your password could even be a sentence, such as, I love chocolate cake, and a set of numbers. Or like shown here, summer, $, reading, 2025, exclamation point. That's a strong password. You could have a silly password like hot dogs make me happy, and every S is a $sign. Doing things like this really help to create a very strong password. Here we have a chart. This chart will show you how long it would take someone to crack your password. Where years ago, all we would say is that your password had to be 8 characters, 1 uppercase letter, 1 lowercase letter, and a special character. That could be cracked in about 8 hours here. Whereas if we have 16 characters and at least 1 uppercase, lowercase letter, a number, and a symbol, it could take 1 trillion years. So while it might be annoying, the number of characters and the complexity of these passwords really do help to keep us safe. And what else can you do? Trust but verify. Just like when you get those spam voicemails or scamming emails, don't click on them right away. Call your bank. Don't click on anything that could be a suspicious link. If you don't know that it's coming, you shouldn't share it. And set up 2-factor authentication whenever possible, whether that is your mortgage account or your work account. Having the ability to put in a password and maybe get a text code as well really does help to keep your account safe. And always confirm unusual requests with the sender directly. If you get an email saying to fill out a form or to click on a link or to even view a document, but you weren't prepared to get that, if you didn't know that email was coming, you may want to have a verbal conversation with the sender. And here's why. On the left, this is a spam or scamming Google account. This is someone impersonating my JCPS account. On the right is my actual one. So if someone receives an email, we often just look at the name. We don't look at the email address associated with it. So it may look like I'm sending you a Google form or even asking for help on a Google Doc, but it could be all a scam. And here's what they sent me. Nikki Sibrel has invited you to edit the following document. Luckily here, we can see that we have filtering that shows that this was sent outside of our organization, along with the fake Gmail account here. But there's oftentimes with fake Microsoft accounts, Google accounts, and so much more, where it only shows the first and last name, and it doesn't show the email address associated with it. What makes it harder for us to spot the AI or the phishing attempt. So if you're not expecting something, don't click on it. And definitely don't ever put your information in something. In using AI, educators have an incredible opportunity to revolutionize their lesson plans. AI tools can streamline research, personalize content, and create engaging activities. But with this power comes responsibility. Citing AI is crucial for maintaining academic integrity and setting a positive example for students. When we cite AI, we acknowledge the technology's contributions while emphasizing the human element of teaching. It shows students that AI is a tool to enhance, not replace critical thinking and creativity. It also fosters transparency and encourages open dialogue about the ethical use of AI in education. By citing AI, educators demonstrate their commitment to responsible innovation. It's a small step to make a big impact, empowering the next generation to navigate the complexities of an AI-driven world with integrity and confidence. So let's embrace AI as a valuable partner in education while using it responsibly and ethically to inspire and empower our students. We can even ask AI to cite the source for us. Let's jump back to our landforms worksheet and lesson plan we created. Below this lesson plan in the prompt, I'm going to ask Gemini to cite the response as a source for me. And here's how we can cite the responses when using AI. While AI has the potential to enhance education, it's crucial for educators to be aware of the potential biases. AI models learn from a vast amount of data, and if that data reflects societal biases, the AI will inherit them. This can lead to biased outputs, which can have a negative impact on students. Educators need to be vigilant in identifying and addressing the biases in AI. By critically evaluating AI-generated content and supplementing it with diverse perspectives, educators can ensure that their lesson plans are inclusive and equitable. Let's take a look at what that can look like. Let's imagine that we're creating a lesson plan about historic inventors. So in Gemini, I will put in the prompt, generate a list of the best inventors in the US, and see what Gemini gives me. As we scroll through, we can see that Gemini has listed inventors like Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, the Wright brothers, Eli Whitney, Nikola Tesla, George Washington Carver, and Steve Jobs. As we look through this list, we can see that this data reinforces harmful stereotypes and excludes women, and there's still only one person of color on this list. Remember, AI is a tool, and like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how it's used. By using AI responsibly, educators can harness the power to create engaging and enriching learning experiences for all students. We can try this one more time and see if we get a different list. Now that we've asked AI to include women and people of color, we get a more diverse list. So after Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell and George Washington Carver, we have Garrett Augustus Morgan, Marie Van Buren Brown, and of course, Dr. Shirley N. Jackson, and so many more. AI can open doors when it comes to personalized learning. But with creating these personalized learning activities or lesson plans, We have a sacred duty to protect student privacy. Imagine an AI tool that tailors lessons to each child's strengths and weaknesses. It's powerful, but it can also collect sensitive data. We need to ensure that this information is handled responsibly. Think of a student struggling with math. AI could identify that struggle and offer targeted support, but we can't let that data be misused or shared without consent. Student privacy isn't just a legal requirement. It fosters trust and allows students to learn without fear. As we embrace AI's potential, we must also be vigilant guardians of student data. It's important that we teach our kids that their privacy matters in the classroom and beyond. Because in this age of AI, protecting student privacy isn't just good practice, it's essential. It's crucial that we embrace this technology responsibly. We must take ownership of the content we generate or help create with AI, from lesson plans to student assessments. Ensure the information is accurate, unbiased, and age appropriate. For instance, if you're using AI to generate a quiz on historical events, double check the dates and the facts. If an AI tool suggests a science experiment, make sure it's safe and aligns with curriculum standards. By taking responsibility for AI generated content, we protect our students, maintain trust, and lead the way in ethical education. Embrace AI, but always remember the human touch is irreplaceable. The last thing that we're going to look at with our AI ethics is using AI responsibly. What this means is we need to be prepared for incorrect answers and responses. Let's put in the prompt, how many R's are in strawberry? Pretty simple, right? We know that there are 3 R's in strawberry. Well, let's see what AI says. The word strawberry has 3 R's, which is correct. But what happens when we try to correct AI? Will it agree with us or change the answer? We can see here that it now says, you are absolutely correct. My apologies. There are only 2 R's in strawberry. I miscounted, even though it spells it out completely. So we know that AI is wrong, or Gemini is wrong, based on what we put in there. So when we use AI, whether it's Gemini or Copilot, we have to think critically and understand that we are responsible for anything put in there. It's also important to note that the different sites or different forms of AI will react differently. So if we head to Copilot and ask the exact same question, we may get a completely different response. So whether you're asking about the R's in strawberry or helping with a lesson or even translation, you could get different responses based on what product you're using. So here we see that they're saying that there's 3 R's in strawberry. Let's do the exact same response and see what it says. Here, Copilot really breaks it down. It lets you know that there's 3 and counts it again. So this one doesn't change the answer. That doesn't mean that Copilot or Gemini, that one is better than the other. Just always understand that when you use generative AI, you could get different responses because it's always creating something new. Now that we've gone over generative AI and how we can keep our accounts safe and understand that AI is constantly being used to attack our accounts, do you think you can tell what is real and what is AI? Let's take a look at some examples. All right, for our first one, is this runway model real or AI? Let's say not AI. We're wrong. This is generated by AI. This was made with AI tools. Let's try again. Is this a real video game or AI fantasy? AI. We're right. This is all created with AI. Is this basketball player real or AI? Let's say she's real, not AI. We're correct. This was not made with AI tools. This is an ad produced by Nike. Let's take a look at a couple more examples. Is this demolition AI or not AI? Let's go with AI. Nope, this is real. And these people, AI. Yep, it was made with AI tools. It's a commercial created by Toys R Us. Let's look at some other examples. Is this celebrity photo shoot real or AI? Let's say it's not AI. Correct, it's a real photo shoot. What about this one? Let's try AI. And it is. This is not a real image. It was generated by AI. World leaders. Not AI. This is real. What about the interior of this? Looks like a cabin. This is an AI generated image. But it looks so real. You can see the grooves of the wood, the glare from the lights. It's showing us here that a good way to tell is that these aren't real words. And where the water would come out for the shower is off-centered. About this man covered in tattoos. I'm going to say that's probably real. Not AI. It is a real image. Is this a real family? I'm going to say no. They all look really, really similar. Yeah, this has been circulating around Facebook, but it's not actually a real family. And this one. Is this really from a movie? Yeah, let's say it is. Nope, it's an AI generated image. It was created for 12 Angry Men. It says a good way to spot that this is generated by AI if you look very closely that some of the faces are unusual. And finally, this image of the rock. Real or AI? It's an AI generated image. The one giveaway in the image is the badge. Yep, as we scroll up and down, we can see those aren't real letters and numbers. So how did you do? Do you feel like you got a good grasp on what is AI and what isn't? Can you easily spot what is generated from AI and what is real? I hope that you took from this little activity that it's sometimes very hard to notice or pick out what is AI and what isn't. So we should always be cautious. We should be cautious about giving out our information and the links we click on because AI generated content is getting better and better. Thank you for joining me in this training, and I hope that you continue learning more and more about AI. Here in this presentation, I have some links on how you can continue learning about AI. These are great resources for anyone. We also have additional PDs that you can access at any point in time. You can find these PDs at jcps.me/teachpoint. Type in technology or AI in the search bar, and you'll find our PDs relating to that. Don't forget to complete your feedback in Vector. You'll do this by going to jcps.me/teachpoint and selecting on My Activities. Thank you so much for joining me today in this training. If you have any questions or need any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks and have a great day.